Alright, so this clock face is named Totem. We have the hours and minutes in digital time. We have a AM or PM indicator. We have the date that has the month and day of month. And then we have a single stat viewable at a single time. If you want to cycle through your stats, you just tap on the display. So we have active zone minutes, steps, heart rate, total calories burned, total distance, floors climbed, and we're back to active minutes. Alright, this clock face is called Pendulum. It's an analog clock face. It has the hours, minutes, and seconds in analog. It also gives us a single stat on the top and the date, which includes the day of week, month, and day of month. So if you want to change the single stat, you can just tap on the screen. So right now it's active zone minutes, then we can show steps, current heart rate, total calories burned, distance, floors climbed, and we're back to active minutes. Alright, this clock face is called Dotted Time. It's another analog-esque watch face. It's got the hours and minutes in analog. It also shows the date with the day of week up top and the month and day of month on the bottom. If you tap on it once, it goes to this kind of weird screen which basically shows you the hours and minutes in analog with no numbers or reference, and kind of a rectangular progress bar for your active minutes. So there are no other stats that you can see on this clock face. Those are the only two options. Alright, this clock is called Rightful Stats, I guess because there are stats on the right side. Otherwise we have digital time with digital hours and digital minutes. We also have the full day of week plus month and day of month. And then we have 3 stats visible, not with numbers, but with progress rings. And if you tap on the display once, you'll see those stats change. So the original stats are active zone minutes, steps, and current heart rate. And if you tap, you'll get total calories burned, distance, and floors climbed. Now, I think this would actually be the perfect clock face if they actually somehow gave you some numbers here. At least the heart rate. If I saw a numerical heart rate here, this would be the clock face that I use. Because one thing that Fitbit still has over the Apple Watch is being able to see your heart rate in real time. So I personally do not use a watch face that does not include real-time heart rate. Otherwise, this would be my choice for a clock face. Alright, this clock face is called V-Lines. It has digital time with digital hours, minutes, and seconds. It also has the month and day of month, both numerical, so there's quite a few two-digit numbers on this clock face. And like the previous clock face, we have these progress ring 3 stats at a time, and if we tap once, we'll get the next 3 stats. So again, this has active zone minutes, steps, and current heart rate. And if you tap, then you can see total calories burned, total distance, and floors climbed. Again, you don't get the numbers, just a progress ring according to your goal. Alright, this clock face is called M-Tumbler. It has the day of week plus day of month and month. The day of week is just 2 characters there. We also have the digital hours and digital minutes, and I think you may have just seen that did the little tumbler action going from 820 to 821, so if you like that style, it's not very practical, but it could be considered stylish. And down here we have a single stat, again in that progress rings format, so that's active zone minutes. Tapping once will get you to steps. Tapping again, current heart rate. Tapping again, calories burned. Tapping again, distance. Tapping again, floors climbed. And then we're back to active minutes. So you can choose whatever you want when you're tapping. That can be what always shows up, on your screen, but I'm just showing you. Those are the options. Alright, this clock face is called Up Front. It basically has the digital time in hours and minutes in extremely large font. You can tap once and you'll get the month and day of month, both in numerical format in extremely large font. And you can tap once more to get 4 stats that cover up the whole screen. So the top here is active zone minutes, and you actually get the number. Current heart rate, you'll actually get the number. Steps, you get the number. And distance, you get the number. If you tap again, you're back to the clock time. So time, date, and some stats. Alright, this clock face is called L-Azimuth. It has the date up top with the day of week, day of month, and month. Also has the digital time in hours and minutes. And it has a single large stat for active zone minutes. So it gives you the number as well as a progress ring. And tapping on this does nothing. So it is not an interactive clock face. This is all it will show. Alright, this clock face is called U-Azimuth. It's basically the same as the previous clock face, except for the stat on the bottom has been moved to the top, and the date's also at the bottom also. So kind of just the reverse. We have the active zone minute stat with number and progress circle at the top. We have digital time with digital hours and minutes in the middle-ish. And on the bottom we have date with day of week, day of month, and month. Alright, this clock face is called Mod Clock. We have a single stat at the top. In the middle of the circle we have digital time with digital hours and digital minutes. We also have analog seconds going around in a dotted circle with the current second in dotted white. And then on the bottom we have the month and current day of month. So like other watch faces, if we tap, we can cycle through stats. So we have steps, current heart rate, totals calories burned, distance, floors climbed, and back to active minutes. Alright, so this clock face is called Double Stat. It has steps in a progress ring at the top. That's always at the top. It has digital hours and minutes in the middle. And it has a single stat here at the bottom, which in the beginning shows the date with the current month and current day of month. So if we tap, you'll see the bottom changes to active minutes, current heart rate, total calories burned, distance, floors climbed, and back to the date. So the steps stays constant, and you can change the stats on the bottom. Alright, this clock face is called Retro Double Stat. We have the current time, digital hours, and digital minutes. We have the current date with the month and current day of month. We also have our steps, which is a combination of the value as well as a progress bar, and the current heart rate, which, since I'm not wearing it, that's why the heart rate is dashed out right now. And if we tap on this once, we can cycle to show distance and calories burned, or floors climbed and active zone minutes. If I tap again, we get back to the steps and heart rate. So those are your only options. You can't customize which two things show up. So like if you want active zone minutes and steps, you can't have them on the same screen, unfortunately. Alright, this clock face is called Charge 2 Retro. So we have the hours and minutes in digital up top. Again, the date and day of month and day of month underneath, and then a single stat underneath. So this is active zone minutes. We have steps with a little progress bar, current heart rate, total calories burned, total distance, floors climbed, and we're back to active zone minutes. Alright, this clock face is called Interlaced. We have a stat on top and a stylish display of the time in digital hours and digital minutes. The current stat is the month and day of month. If we tap once, we'll get active zone minutes rather, steps, current heart rate, total calories burned, distance, and floors climbed. I'm sure you're getting the picture by now, but just want to show you all your options. Alright, this clock face is called 3D Clock. So it's got a single stat up top and a 3D digital clock time with digital hours and digital minutes. So up here again we have the date with month and day of month. We can tap to cycle through the usual active zone minutes, steps, current heart rate, total calories burned, distance, floors climbed, and back to the date. Alright, the next clock face is called Asymmetrical Clock. It has steps on the top, digital time with digital hours and minutes only, as well as current heart rate. Now if you tap on this face, nothing happens. So that's all you get, steps, time, and current heart rate. Alright, this clock face is called Punctual. It shows the current time in digital hours and digital minutes, with the current date with month and day of month, as well as on the bottom we have digital seconds. Now if we tap on this clock face, nothing happens. It is not interactive. This is all you get. Alright, so this clock face is called Stacked. Now it's not to be confused with the other clock face where the bottom here actually shows the day of the month, not digital seconds. That's why it's not changing. So on top we have the current time with digital hours and digital minutes. We have the 2-character day of week and the current day of the month. Now this also is not interactive, so if you tap, nothing changes. Alright, this clock face is called Stats Heavy. It has the current time with digital hours and digital minutes, and it has 4 stats. We have steps, current heart rate, total calories burned, and total distance. And if we tap on this, there's no interactivity. This is what you get for this clock face. Alright, this clock face is called Steps Date. We have steps at the top, digital hours and minutes in the middle, and we have the date with month and day of month on the bottom. If we tap, there is no change, so that's what you get for this clock face. Alright, so this clock face is called Mod Clock Date. It has steps at the top, we have time in the middle with digital hours, digital minutes, and analog seconds going around in a circle, and at the bottom we have the date with month and current day of month. If we tap, nothing changes. This is not an interactive clock face. Alright, this clock face is called HR Stat. That's because you get the current time with digital hours and digital minutes, as well as your current heart rate. And if we tap on it, we have no interactivity, so that's all you get with this clock face. Alright, this clock face is called Analog Stat. We have the date on the top with month and current day of month. We have analog time with hours, minutes, and seconds hand in the middle. And on the bottom we have a single stat that is currently active zone minutes, but if we tap on it, we can cycle through the usual steps, current heart rate, total calories burned, total distance, floors climbed, and back to active zone minutes. Alright, and the final Fitbit Charge 4 clock face is called Analog Date, where we just get the date with the current month and current day of month, analog time with hours, minutes, and seconds hands, and on the bottom we get current heart rate. If we tap, nothing changes, so that's what you get for this clock face. Alright, so those were all 24 Fitbit Charge 4 clock faces. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up below as it really helps this video and my channel, and consider subscribing if you want to see more Fitbit Charge 4 videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.